Blue 22.
You are watching Sports and Sorts live on YouTube. That's 75% sports, 25% sorts. And here are your hosts, Shane and the Bry Man.
Yeah, we are back. It is a Monday morning at 9:52. We tried to get here at 9:50. Didn't work out. But 2 minutes late is not terrible. Anyway, I'm one of your hosts. My name is Shane.
I'm the Bry Man.
And we will be here talking about all sorts of things. We got a little bit of MLB. We're going to talk the Yankees Sox, their opening day series. We have some contract disputes we want to get into the whole Aaron Judge thing. So we're going to talk about that, how he declined his contract offer from the Yankees. And then we'll get into a little bit of NFL news and notes. And then head on over to the Masters. I might even cover the Masters real quick right out the gate, just to kind of get it out of the way. There's not a lot to talk about. But I do want to quickly touch on it because obviously Tiger Woods played and it was pretty amazing and also a little scary at times to watch him play. And then we can also get into our OFN, which is Hugh Jackman, and we're going to be talking about his once, forever, and never, basically the FMK of our show, and that is we can watch it once, we can watch it forever, and we can watch it never again. So we're going to be doing that right at the end of the show, and then we'll spin the wheel of destiny, and figure out what we're going to be doing next. All right, so got a lot to just get into. We only have about I'd say 45 minutes to an hour or so to get this in, so we're just going to dive right in. Let's get into. I don't have a graphic for it because we don't talk about it very often, and that's golf. We'll touch on the Masters real quick. Brian Man didn't really watch any this week.
No,
I don't even know if you saw any highlights or anything like that, but
no.
The course was playing extremely difficult. Basically anybody that was under par was in the hunt, or at least in the top 10. It was a very difficult round for a lot of the players. They were finding it very challenging, but it's a Masters. It's one of it is the gold standard of golf. And I found at times very entertaining. Now, I didn't really follow the field very much for the first 3 days. I watched a lot of Tiger. And that was basically because I wanted to see how he came back. Now, for those that don't know, I had a very similar accident to Tiger Woods, and I wanted to see how he's going to rebound it was a little over a year later from when he had the accident. And I wanted to see how he's going to, and oh my gosh, did it bring back some PTSD. I was having some serious, just flashbacks about how I walked after, and kind of how he was using the club as a cane a little bit from time to time. And man, does his leg look atrophied. But with all that being said, he played well. And the weird thing is, off the tee, he was great. He really struggled chipping and putting. And that is something that putting was one of the only things he was able to do for a lot of his downtime. And then obviously you go to chipping, which you can do a lot. But his irons, he was kind of all over the place. Now, winds do swirl at Augusta and stuff like that. And he has not played any competition in over a year, so he was probably going to struggle a little. But off the tee, he was pretty darn good. He had a couple of wayward shots in the first and second round, but he put up decent numbers. And then round 3, he kind of blew up.
I heard day 2 was difficult. The conditions on Friday were.
Yeah, no, well, it kind of varied. So there were times in the day where it was bad, and then there were other times that it was okay. And then obviously Sunday, the conditions were really, really nice. It was cold first thing in the morning, but as soon as you got out there, it was nice and warm. Everybody was kind of sweating a little bit, but yeah, there were times that it was cold and it was windy, and it was just brutal. And with the way that that course is, just so incredibly hilly. I was incredibly impressed with how he was able to kind of make it through the 4 days. I do not envy his recovery process after the fact, after every day, but he came out there and he played solid. He made the cut, played the weekend.
And there were some big names that did not make the cut.
Right. And he finished way towards the back end because he kind of really started going downhill as the weekend went on. That probably was due to fatigue. But yeah, his chipping and putting was really what let him down over the weekend.
Like, didn't 3 of the favorites like not make the cut? Like Spieth, Thomas. I feel like there was one of the Koepka. Those were the 3. Yeah.
Justin Thomas made it.
Oh, Thomas did made it. So it was
he was in the hunt.
Spieth and Koepka and one other guy that didn't make the cut.
I don't think DeChambeau made it.
Oh, that was it. It was DeChambeau. Yes, yeah. Bryson DeChambeau. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's another one who just came back from injury. So I mean, that was kind of. I mean, there was not a lot going on. Because I call him the Iron Scheff, Scotty Scheffler, relatively new name to golf, but for people that followed golf, they kind of know who he is because he's won everywhere he's gone. He won in high school. He won in college. He is a beast. And he's going to be a kind of guy that's going to be around for a while. Big Texas boy. He has this really high finish, just a big, huge width in his swing, and he can hit the ball a country mile.
He's just what, 25, right?
Yeah.
So he's
young too.
Young. Okay.
And I wouldn't be surprised if you're going to see him in the hunt for a lot of majors and just winning in general year after year. He's going to be one of those guys that you're going to see when his career's done. He's going to probably have a handful of majors, if not more. And he's going to probably have something like anywhere from 30 to 60 wins in that realm. He's going to
a Hall of Famer.
Yes. He's going to end up being a Hall of Famer, barring anything crazy that happens. He's just a big boy, and he's got pretty decent hands. Now, for those that didn't watch, he kind of was. You could tell he was a little nervous on the last hole.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. It took four putts to get from 40 feet in.
Yeah,
right?
and
I could have done that.
But the crazy thing is, it was like 40 foot, and then it was like everything inside of 5 feet. It was like miss.
Yeah,
and like after he missed the third one, he just kind of like stepped back and he was just kind of like laughing. And he's like, I just can't, like, he's like, I'm trying to like calm myself because he knows he's going to win. Like there was no way he was going to 8-putt, like to lose. So,
but that does scare you a little, right? Because
Rory
was the guy who was chasing him, but was still however many strokes behind.
Even after he 4-putted, he still won by 3.
He still won by 3 strokes, right?
3.
So, but didn't Rory hole out of a bunker on what? I don't
18.
know. 18. Oh, it was on 18. So he applied like a tiny bit of pressure, but not really.
Rory had like that Tiger charge.
Yeah,
he shot like 7 or 8 under.
Yeah.
On the final day.
Right. Wasn't he like 64? I don't know.
That would be 8 under. Yeah. It was like 7 or 8 under. Yeah. He had a huge day.
I think it was 65.
He was on fire.
Yeah.
And he left strokes on the field. He could have easily gone 10
still
under.
lost by 3 strokes with a guy 4-putting.
Yeah.
That's when you know you're far behind.
I mean, Scheffler always had somewhere between a 3 to 5 shot lead. I mean, every time like Cameron Smith got like within like 3 strokes, 2 strokes, then all of a sudden he double bogeyed.
That's a very Tiger-esque finish. I mean, he just dominated. He dominated and he just,
he just kind of ran away with it.
He was a front runner and that's how Tiger did a lot of his winning in his prime.
So, and Scheff is hot right now. He's very hot. He has he's the number 1 ranked player in the world. He was going into this.
He can't go up any further.
And he beat Kevin Kisner in the match play, the Dell match play event. And, he's just scorching hot. So you're going to look for his name on the leaderboard for a long time. Yeah. This is what I wanted to read though. I saw something from a reporter about Tyrrell Hatton, who I can't stand. Hatton is like a guy who always whines and complains and just looks angry. And you can never tell. He always looks unhappy on the golf course, like, and angry. And like, every time he hits a bad shot, he just like pissed off at the world. And this is what he came out and said. He said, so there was a question. The last round last year was 68, and you signed off okay this year. You seem to be making progress. Hatton says, yeah, but you can hit good shots here and not get any reward for it. It's unfair at times. I don't agree with that. If you hit a good shot, you should end up near the hole, not then short-sided into a bunker because of the slopes that they've created and stuff. Yeah, I don't think it's fair at time. It's a fair test at times. And when you hit a good shots and you're not rewarded for it, it shows. And then there was a question, does it increase the frustration level more than any, or is it because it's also a major? Hatton says, I think it's how the course is set up in general. You don't really have to miss a shot. And your next one, you're really struggling to make par. With how it runs off the greens here and the slopes that you are chipping into and how obviously it's cut, it just makes it really hard to even get chip shots close. I think everything is exaggerated here.
That just sounds like a bitter person.
Shut the fuck up.
It just sounds like a bitter man.
It's tough on everybody.
It's
Deal
the
with
Masters,
it.
dude.
Yeah, it's tough on everybody. Rory didn't seem to have a problem with it Sunday. Scheffler didn't seem to have a problem with it all week. You want to know why? Because he hit the shots you were supposed to hit. There are narrow windows here that you have to hit your ball to. And if you're not striking the ball really well, no, you're not going to have a chance to win.
But
so
it's
just
the
shut
Masters. It's supposed to be hard.
Yeah. It's like the U.S. Open. A lot of the times the greens are going to be rolling at 14 and they're going to be like crazy. So you know what?
Majors
suck it up.
Are meant to be hard. That's why they're majors.
Yeah. I don't think it's fair. Shut up.
Where's my, hold on. Hold on. Okay. Here it is. Okay. My Jimmy Dugan quote. Okay. It's supposed to be hard. If it wasn't, everyone else would do it. The hard is what makes it great. This is on my desk. And I have a desk job. I'm not out there trying to fire a 65 on the Masters course.
Absolutely ridiculous.
That's what life is about, man. It's supposed to be fucking hard.
Mm-hmm.
Break. Loser.
Yeah. Hatton he is, I don't know. I can't stand that stuff. It's very aggravating.
Whatever. Can we talk about something else that aggravates me, like Aaron Judge? Well, or unless you want to get to like Yankees, Red Sox first.
Yeah, I'll just put the state of the Yankees thing on.
Sure.
The state
Let's do
of the
that.
Yankees.
Play ball!
Ooh, that's not right.
Play ball!
I hit the wrong one.
Blue 22.
I hit the wrong button.
Well, another.
Let's get into the series first. I don't want to talk. Yeah. Okay.
I was going to talk about the series first.
All right, good. Because the Yankees go into it. They take 2 of 3. It's pretty close, pretty much the whole way through. This is pretty much how I expect the whole year to go. Now, I think it's going to be pretty close. I think you're going to see it kind of go flip-flopping back and forth because I do think that they're fairly evenly matched teams, but I do think I feel like the Yankees have a little bit better of a squad. Now, I know that you are on the hand that that you think that the lineup is a little scary on Boston. I did not find it very scary. I did not find it I think there at times they have scary moments because obviously Devers is, he's a freak.
MVP. He's an MVP.
Yeah, he's a freak, and he's going to be a hitting freak for years to come. And I just feel like I liked to see what we got out of Severino. They're playing with the microphone head cover.
Stuff is falling in my. No. It's Funko Pops that I piled over somewhere, and they're just falling off a chair.
That's hilarious. So the Yankees
done over there falling. Jesus Christ.
So the Yankees are. I think they're started off okay. Now they depleted the bullpen quite a bit. it is what it is. That's going to happen, but
which is not good going into this series against.
But
the Blue Jays.
everybody's depleting their bullpen this early on. No pitchers. It's very rare where you're seeing a pitcher go 6 innings this early on. And I feel like everybody's going to get depleted early on. You're going to probably see some roster moves made and things like that. But ultimately, I don't think it's going to be a huge impact throughout the season. This happens throughout the year where, your bullpen gets depleted a little bit. But everybody's depleted a little bit. So I think it kind of evens itself out right now. But overall, I think the Yankees performed pretty well. I hate the hit. Every time I saw Hicks come up to bat, I just wanted to throw my remote at the screen. I can't stand the guy.
Did you see my tweet last night about Aaron Hicks?
I did not.
Well, here, let me read it to you.
Please.
I said, I hate Aaron Hicks, the likes of which a human being should not have this level of vitriol for another person. Like, it's cruel and wholly unnatural. I really fucking don't like that, man. I really don't. It's cringy every time he steps up to the plate. Because you know why? It's that Michael Kay always talks about the fallacy of the predetermined outcome. But the truth is, the outcome when Aaron Hicks gets up. It's not going to be good. If there is a double play to be grounded into, he will ground into it. If there is a strikeout to be had, he will strike out. Whatever the worst case scenario is for Aaron Hicks, that's what's going to happen. Like, okay, I'm not a gambler, but I would imagine that if you can gamble live gambling, like in the moment per at bat, if you could gamble like an Aaron Hicks at bat and bet the house, like bet everything you have on whatever you think the worst outcome is. So again, like let's say there's one out, there's a runner on first, Yankees are down by like a run. Hicks is at the plate. Bet on the 4-6-3 double play. Well, depending on how he's batting, lefty or righty, he's either going to hit into a 6-4-3 or a 4-6-3. Just bet whichever way he's batting. Bet the outcome. Bet that outcome. Okay, and you're going to be a millionaire. You're going to be a millionaire. I mean, although then again, Vegas probably wouldn't put very big odds on him not grounding into a double play. I'm sure they would probably be like, yeah, this is a ripe position here for an Aaron Hicks inning-ending double play. It's maddening with him, dude. Man, the Yankee text group, of course, was at it last night. And we were talking about like guys that we hate on this team. And I will tell you that over the past few years, there were two guys that I generally just hated almost nonstop. And it was Hicks and Sanchez. One of those guys has now been shipped off to Minnesota. And of course he hit a grand slam yesterday. Yeah. And he almost had a walk-off home run a couple days ago. I think on like Friday or something.
Telling you, DH is going to suit him well if he can get his head wrapped around it.
Also, Minnesota's going to suit him well because, no pressure. It's not the Cauldron that's the Bronx. Sorry. It's just not. No offense to Minnesota, but it's not the Bronx. And, but so now I really just have one guy to concentrate on, and that's Hicks. Especially like with, at least like with Brett Gardner, it was almost like a joke when he was around because it was just like, the Yankees are just obviously going to bring him back on a 1-year, $4 million deal with incentives that could get it up to like $9 million. And like that is gone now. Although there were a lot of Yankee fans on Twitter last night joking, like I would rather have Gardy than Aaron Hicks. And I couldn't argue with that. I know, like I really could not argue with that. It was hard to argue.
It is.
I think what I would really like. How about a more realistic thing? I would rather have Florial. Why not? I would rather have Esteban Florial playing out there. Also, Esteban Florial had a pretty good spring, and I think he's had a very hot start to his AAA campaign this year. So, could we just bring him up? Is it too early? I know it's only 3 games, but like Aaron Hicks has kind of showed you who he is in year 3 of the 7-year, $70 million contract that Brian Cashman just had to give him. Because there were so many other teams banging on the door for Aaron Hicks that Brian Cashman had to dole out 7 and 70 for that guy. And again, it's not the money that bothers you with Hicks. It's the years. It's the years. Who would give him 7 years? I don't understand. Aaron Hicks to me is not even he might be like a AAA level player. He's just not that good.
No, he is.
He's just not that good. Oh, it's frustrating, man.
Yeah, he is a very good outfielder. But that's you bring him in for defense, in the 9th inning.
That's
what you're paying him that contract for.
No, okay, here's another serious question. Even if you don't want to go the Estevan Florial route, you do have actually a better player on the bench right now in Marwin Gonzalez. Why not put him out there? First of all, the bat is significantly better. And I guarantee you Marwin Gonzalez, in instances last night where the Yankees needed something clutch, which, by the way, was at one point was just a sac fly.
Yeah.
And he can't do it. He's just look, if you are waiting around for Aaron Hicks to become something special or something that even remotely lives up to that $770 contract, I have a bag of beans to sell you. I got a Bernie Madoff proposal for you. I got a lot of things for you. Okay. I got a lot of stuff that I can sell you. And Aaron Hicks he's never going to be that guy. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, Yankees fans. Aaron Hicks is not going to magically become the player that you somehow that Brian Cashman apparently thinks he's going to be.
I think everybody's kind of I think even the front office is kind of moved past it. Like they just aren't ready to bring up Florial yet. I think that's really what it comes down to. And I think you're going to see a point of the season if they can't make a trade to get somebody to play that position. I think you're going to see him. Like if they, obviously I don't think Conforto could really play center field every day, but if they can't get a guy.
I like Conforto, but he's probably not even available till June anyway.
Right.
So.
Yeah. But still, you can get through the first couple months, and then you're getting into the real thick of things. But I just think that if they're not going to be able to get somebody, then you'll probably see Florial up at some point in time this year.
You know what bothers me about this Yankee team the last couple of years? Because they've done a lot of this too, especially last year. They did a lot of this. And I'm sure you'll remember this, and maybe you'll know what I'm talking about. Now, it wasn't like they didn't lose in a dramatic way yesterday. I mean, Bobby Dahlbeck hits like a 6th inning home run, and the Yankees just couldn't tie it up. They just couldn't. They had so many opportunities.
They gave themselves opportunities. They just did not. They
couldn't cash in. There wasn't enough clutch.
They did the other days.
They did. Yes, they did. They did on Friday and Saturday. They got behind both games, both by 2 runs. They came back in both games.
I could see you if this was reversed. If they lost 1-2, like 1-2. I could see you like burning down the house, like I know it's early and I know you understand that it's early in the season, but if they lost the same way the Red Sox did, I feel like you would be like, this is who they are. They're paper.
Well, you know what I would have said is that there's no dog in the fight here.
Right.
They're soft. They get punched in the mouth, glass jaw. They can't come back. No, yeah, they showed you a little something on Friday and Saturday.
But they have to. The main thing that I really think that they have to do is they have to figure out a way to get DJ LeMahieu in the lineup almost every day. And that's the problem.
Yes,
that's the biggest problem.
There was no reason for him to be coming in off the bench.
Right. Not yesterday.
No.
And as much as
day 3 and we're resting DJ LeMahieu on day 3.
And there has to be
Aaron Boone. He's the other guy I hate, and he's not even a player.
Yeah. It's just they have to figure out what to do with the DH spot, and they got to figure out because yes, Giancarlo Stanton has been playing pretty well. He looks
setting the cover on the ball.
Well, if he's not looking like he got completely fooled out of his shoes, it's like, and that's just who he is. Like he looks horrible, and then he rakes.
Let's not blame Giancarlo Stanton.
No.
He had a stellar weekend.
But
let's talk about Aaron Judge and the trash bag that he is.
We'll get there. But
yeah,
I do want to say
that's when you're going to see.
I do want to see they have to figure out how to work that outfield because right now they have a lot of the same players. We've talked about this for years, and they have to figure out how to utilize the DH spot and get DJ LeMahieu. If you're not playing DJ LeMahieu in the field, he needs to be your DH.
And also, he should be leading off because, in theory, he's their best hitter.
Yes.
So
he knows how to put the bat on the ball.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
And I don't mind Josh Donaldson leading off. He did not.
That's fine.
Last night.
If you want to give LeMahieu a day off from time to time,
Donaldson is
then you go with Donaldson. And I've been very happy with the way that Donaldson's been playing so far this year too. I mean, he had 3 looking strikeouts yesterday. He was confused,
which apparently was the first time in his career.
That's
of course that happened as a Yankee.
He's old. He's older.
Yeah, he's 36,
This is going to happen. he's going to get pitch harder in the Yankees in the Yankee uniform. Yeah. It's going to happen. I've been very pleased so far with what we've seen from Donaldson. I've been pleased pretty much from every, like, I'm a little disappointed in Kiner Falefa's defense. Seems like he's bobbling a lot. I'm going to assume that it's a little bit nerves.
He's a third baseman.
I'm going to assume that it's a little nerve wracking. That's why we got to figure out how to, you either got to bring up Volpe or, try that other kid. Was it Peraza?
It was Oswaldo Peraza.
Yeah. Or bring him up just to see what they can do. I don't think Peraza's ready. They're going to probably trade him at some point, but.
By the way, over the weekend, last night, fucking Fanatics got me again, man. Fanatics has a way of they tap right into me. They know just when to hit me. Cause every once in a while, I don't know if you're familiar with Fanatics, but they have this thing called Fan Cash and you earn it based on your purchases. So if you make a $500 purchase, you're probably going to get $30 or $40 in Fan Cash, which they just throw into your account and it's money. You just use it towards another purchase. Every once in a while, they just randomly throw money in your account. Right. Oh, so I just happened to go on Fanatics last night because they were doing their 65% off kind of thing. And I look and it's you have $30.35 of Fan Cash. I'm like, motherfuckers, they did it to me again. So of course I went online, I bought some additional discounted gift cards because Fanatics makes it very easy for you to make purchases through them because you can buy discounted gift cards. You could buy $100 worth of gift cards for $80. So I'll go out online, I'll find those because they're very easy to find. And then I bought a new, as if I needed this, another Yankees pullover jacket, like a wind shirt, short sleeve, kind of NY on the chest, Nike swoosh on the other. And then I bought an Anthony Volpe signed mini helmet because I was like, I'm banking on this kid maybe being the next great Yankee. And it was only hit that helmet was originally $150 and then it was $112 down with the discount, the discount that was already on, plus the 30 Fan Cash. So I got both of those things for $120 something bucks, I think. Yeah,
it could be a nice collector's item in the future.
Yeah. Hey, even if he doesn't hit, what's the worst case scenario? I spent less than $100 on but if he hits, dude, that's a bargain.
Maybe you get another Rob Refsnyder. Who knows?
Because you know how much, it could be Rob Refsnyder and that would suck, but I don't.
There's a lot more. They have a lot more hope for Volpe than they do.
Well,
Refsnyder.
Here's the one thing we know about Volpe. Right now, he's the number 8 prospect in baseball. And next year he is the consensus number 1.
Yeah.
So we know those things about Anthony Volpe.
Yeah.
I mean, even if he succeeds elsewhere, it's still kind of cool that I actually would have a Yankee side mini helmet of him. So, well, I was like, why not? You know what? Because Jason Dominguez, who you also know is a Yankee future stud, supposedly, he has a signed mini helmet too, except his is going for $250. And I'm like, okay, hold on. The dude has not taken a major league swing at all. And you want double?
Interesting.
And he's not even on the same radar at the moment as Volpe. No. Volpe is at least a top 10 overall prospect.
Yeah. As a shortstop.
Don't get me wrong. Right. As a shortstop, which of course we all know what that means in New York too. What that, what that entails and who he has to follow. Yeah. Jason Dominguez, don't get me wrong. I understand all the hype, but $250?
It's a lot.
Man. Yeah. Cut it in half and I'll get that helmet too. But at the moment, no, I wouldn't even consider it.
So that's my biggest thing with the Yankees right now is that they just got to figure out what to do with the DH. Because right now, you have to figure out a way to unload Gallo.
Yeah.
He is the.
Who would take him? I mean, what do you unload him?
It doesn't matter. You just
he's
gotta
an albatross.
You got to get rid of him. That's it. I mean, he gets on base. I understand he's gonna bat 200. I understand he's gonna hit 40 home runs, whatever. But
he's gonna bat 200. That's such a great bar now.
Yeah,
right?
He's gonna
strike out 200 times, but he's gonna get on base.
He's gonna get on base, but he's still only getting on base 30% of the time. Just get him out of there. He's just not a good fit. You just grabbed a guy that's just another K machine.
The juice ain't worth the squeeze.
You don't need him in the outfield. And so if you get rid of him, that frees up some more space for more DJ LeMahieu. Because then you can kind of rotate a little better.
I would say, God, if you could just replace him and Hicks with fucking anybody, kids.
Imagine getting rid of a package for Gallo and Hicks. If somebody can pick up even half their salary, how awesome would that be?
I mean, I don't care about the Yankees
getting anything back.
So just pay.
Don't even get anything back.
Just get rid of them. Just jettison them from the team. I don't care.
I don't even
shoot
want
them to the
anything back.
moon. Shoot
Just
them into the
get 'em
sun.
out.
I don't give a crap.
It's an addition by subtraction. All right. So now let's get into the hot topic here.
Aaron fucking Judge.
Aaron Judge. Do you want to go over the whole contract that he? I was
Yes, I
was fuming.
Yes, I will.
I was fuming about this for a good 24 hours because I was also very, I do not understand Yankee fans now at the stadium.
Okay.
How he does not get booed every time he walks to plate is beyond me.
I'm glad you and I are in the same camp about this because so many Yankee fans love him and defend him, and I honestly don't understand it. I don't. All right, so let's talk about the contract.
Mm-hmm.
So Cashman revealed that the Yankees offer to Judge was an extension at $30.5 million a year over 7 years, on top of the $19 million or so that they pay him this year, putting the overall bid at $233 million over 8 years. Keep in mind, Aaron Judge is now on the other side of 30 too. So they offered him some minor adjustments, including acceding to his $21 million wish for this year to bring it to $235 million. Now, Judge, according to multiple sources, countered the Yankees' offer at 9 or 10 years at $36 million per year for up to $316 million. Just for comparison's sake, Mike Trout, his record extension was 10 years at $36 million. Now, Shane, how old were you in 1988?
10 years old.
You were 10 years old. Okay. I was 11. At the time, there was a vice presidential debate between a Democratic senator named Lloyd Benson and Dan Quayle, who we all remember.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. At one point during that debate, Dan Quayle referenced Jack Kennedy, and he compared himself to Jack Kennedy. And Senator Lloyd Benson looked at Dan Quayle and he said, "Senator, you're no Jack Kennedy." And I'm looking at you, Aaron Judge, and telling you, you're no Mike Trout. Because you want to know who Mike Trout's comp is in Major League Baseball? It's Mickey fucking Mantle.
It's yeah.
You ain't Mickey
It's nobody
Mantle.
now.
And Aaron Judge, you are not Mickey Mantle, and you are not Mike Trout.
No.
You are neither of those guys. Do you know what? Oh my God. I shudder to think of the kind of money Mickey Mantle would make in today's game. He'd be a $40 million player.
Oh, there's a lot of those guys.
There are. I mean, it's crazy. Clemente,
DiMaggio, Williams, Ted Williams.
Do you know what Ricky Henderson would make in today's game? Oh my God.
Well, the sad thing is they wouldn't have him run.
No, I know you're right. They would. That's a totally lost art, which is why that record's never getting broken.
Right? No, never.
Because nobody would have that durability either.
No.
Did I ever tell you the Ricky Henderson story? So I think it was my brother and a couple of his friends. They were at a game. They were talking to Ricky, and of course Ricky, speaks in the third person. That's literally what he does.
Yeah, Ricky being Ricky.
And I think my brother and some friends were talking to him, and they were asking him, like, "Oh, Ricky, do you work out? Do you lift? Do you lift? How do you get this build, right?" And Ricky looked at them and he said, "Ricky's all natural." So that is so Ricky Henderson. That's why he's my favorite athlete of all time. That's why he's the fucking man.
Do you even lift, bro? I'm natural, bro.
Yeah, all natural. Nah, Ricky's all natural.
Push-ups and sit-ups, bitches.
Well, that actually was his. Yeah. That was what he said he did. It was all like push-ups and sit-ups. Yeah. But come on. But this is a bad. And Judge, of course.
Yeah, didn't he do like 1,000 push-ups? 1,000 sit-ups a day or something like that?
Yeah, it was something outrageous. Yeah. I mean, you would have the core that he has too if you did that. I would probably die. Like physically just pass away.
Yes. At about 340.
Right. Oh my God. Can you imagine the burning? I can't.
Yeah. The thing I have with the whole problem I have with this whole Aaron Judge thing is that he's
so Joe Pacetto just texted me because he's listening. He just reminded me. He said that was me who said, "Hey Ricky, you lift?"
That's hilarious.
I think, Joe, if you are listening, text me back with the Ken Griffey Jr. story too, because I would like to relay that one because I think they got into like an argument with Ken Griffey Jr. or something. Also, I believe it was Joe and maybe Lance and one other guy, they were the ones who started, because they were there, the Paul O'Neill chant in World Series Game 5, I guess, in 2001, when O'Neill was retiring and people thought it was going to be his last game at Yankee Stadium, which it was his last game at Yankee Stadium. They were the ones who started in the upper deck, the Paul O'Neill chant.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep.
It's part of history.
But I know there's a Ken Griffey Jr. story. I just can't remember the details of it. So if Joe, if you are listening still, please text me the details of that story, because I can't remember what it was.
Yeah.
But I feel like they almost got in a fight with Ken Griffey Jr. Anyways, let's just be honest about Aaron Judge. Okay, look, Aaron Judge is a good baseball player. He's a really good baseball player. He's very talented.
He is an MVP candidate pretty consistently.
But this was a fair offer.
Yes.
There's a $30 million a year offer for a guy who's north of 30. Look, I'm not saying I don't want Judge on the team, because that would be kind of a stupid thing to say. He's obviously productive, and it won't be that easy to replace his production. But in his time here, okay, and again, the Yankees were benefactors of the fact that, like when Judge came up and how he kind of got it, but when he came up, he was already 27, I think. So he was already kind of in a bad race against the clock. He knew he would get one shot at a big time contract. And I'm sorry, you can't tell me that $30.5 million 8-year commitment is not showing a guy some love.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you can't, but you also can't pay him like Mike Trout. I'm sorry, you cannot.
So Aaron Judge will be 30 at the end of April.
Okay, so he's all right. So he's still 29.
He's 30. He's gonna be 30 in 2 weeks.
So did he come up? What did he come? Maybe he was 25 or 26.
But there is no reason at all to pay him until he's 40.
He must have been 25.
He gets hurt as it is. Half the time he's on the DL.
And I have for years questioned his clutch. And to date, he actually still doesn't have a walk-off hit. He has a walk-off sac fly and a walk-off walk.
Yeah. You just froze.
No,
in the weirdest position too. Oh man.
Can you hear me?
You're back. You're back.
Okay.
You were like this.
That's funny. Screenshot that, please. But again, clutch just doesn't find him. It just doesn't.
Yeah. It's tough. He is not a comp to Mike Trout. There is not even it's not even close.
No.
That's the thing is there's no real close player to Mike Trout yet. Mike Trout is his own player, and Shohei Ohtani is really good because he does two things exceptionally well. But you can't even comp those two guys. With Aaron Judge, it's gonna really suck for him, and this is my whole problem, is that he's looking at this very good contract with a team that's going to keep putting lineups out there that is going to help him at least get to the playoffs on a regular basis.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then on top of that, you're a guy who has gotten hurt kind of on and off throughout your career. Mm-hmm. You're already 30 years old. Mm-hmm. Your injuries are going to start going up after the 4th, 5th year in this contract.
And look at his physical stature.
Yeah.
It doesn't that body
huge.
Type does not lend itself well.
He's going to end up he's going to have to stop playing the field eventually, and we're not going to be paying that much money to a DH, and when he's 39 years old,
his body is going to break down sooner. 8 years was beyond fair. If that guy thinks any team is going to give him a contract into his 40s, maybe
if they do, good riddance.
Good riddance.
Because that is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I don't want to be. I don't want the Yankees to be that team.
I wouldn't say I'm nervous.
The last 5 years of that deal will be horrendous.
I wouldn't say I'm nervous for him. I would say I'm waiting to see how this plays out, because if he gets hurt this year, he just locked himself into a 2 to 3 year deal.
Yep.
And then you're going to be then you're 33. Now there's no way you're getting a 7-year deal after that.
Here's the thing. His best case scenario is, listen, he goes out, he wins an MVP this year, maybe, right? And maybe the Yankees win the World Series by some miracle. His best case scenario is that, okay? Mm-hmm. Even in that instance, are you still willing to bet on him for 10 years?
No.
Why would you?
The Yankees will not do it. They won't go.
No,
10
I'm not
years.
talking about the Yankees.
Yeah.
It's not fairly obvious that the Yankees will not do it. And by the way, you know what bothers me more than anything is I have no problem with him walking. I don't.
Yeah.
Like, that bothers me. It should. Like, shouldn't I look at that Aaron Judge? I think the way that a lot of Major League Baseball and the media look at him, which is like this is one of the 3 or 4 faces of baseball, a guy that you want on your team long term. And I'm just like, I'm like Drago. If he dies, he dies. Like, I'm just like, I don't care. Like, I don't care. I mean, I don't literally want him to die. You know what I mean?
Right.
But like, if he walks, he walks.
Yeah.
I don't care. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah, I'm with you.
It does not bother me.
Yeah.
Dude, there were guys in the past who I would have been heartbroken and really pissed if they had walked.
Mm-hmm.
Jeter would have obviously been one. Bernie Williams was another guy, and that one was really scary because it looked like he was going to Boston.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you something, Yankee fans, that one would have been us. That one would have been us big. And the Yankees did the right thing, and they locked him up. And Bernie Williams was not a guy you would have wanted to lose to Boston. No effing way.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been a disaster.
Yeah.
But Judge can go, and I'll just be like, all right. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to say good riddance. I don't want to be bitter about it. I'm just not going to be heartbroken about it.
I would say good riddance.
It's not going to bother me.
Because if somebody's giving him 10
Can
years.
Can he take the other 2 Aarons with him, though? Can he take Hicks and Boone with him? Can we get all 3 Aarons off the team? Like, I'll take a 3 for none trade. Can we just get 3 of them off the team? I don't even want anything in return. Just other than the like the salary space to bring in other guys to fill their needs and a more competent manager. That's really all I want. By the way, so Joe texted me the Griffey story. Here it is. Mm-hmm. So you may remember this too. This was back in, I guess it would have been probably the early 90s, right? Griffey said, and this was public, I believe, that he would never play for the Yankees. So he says, so me and Kev, my brother, were walking out of the stadium. Lo and behold, so was Griffey and another. We're calling him an anonymous huge Mariner. Joe said, I said, hey, Griffey, we don't want you here, you overrated piece of shit. He took about 4 steps towards me. I went towards him, and some huge dude from the Mariners stepped between us and said to me, you don't want any part of this. And then Joe just said, to be honest, Griffey's the best player in my lifetime. LOL, which he may be. Griffey may be the best player of our lifetime. He might be. That's a good question. In our lifetime, best player. I don't know, but that was the Griffey story.
Maybe we should put that on the old wheel. Best player of our lifetime.
Best player of our lifetime. Yeah, that would be a good one.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe like a Mount Rushmore of the best players of our lifetime. You know, you could do like 2 pitchers, 2 position players. You know,
yeah, maybe. I like that.
It'd be a fun one. Anyways, if they want to let him walk, let him go. I don't care. I just don't. And that's sad to me that I don't care. Like, I want to care that they would lose a player of that caliber. Like, just look at the numbers. Mm-hmm. But I feel like those numbers are so misleading. I don't know.
So if you just look at the stats,
we just got so spoiled by that dynasty. We really did.
Get into the stats. Now I'm just doing 2017 to 2021 because that's when Aaron Judge came here.
Yep.
All right. His stats over the course of that time, he's got 545 games. Mm-hmm. That's a decent amount. 154 home runs, 356 on the RBIs, 392 runs with an average 280, 391 on base percentage. Now, if you look at that time period, you can make an argument that very similar. Now, Mike Trout has played in 80 less games, or 70 less games. But he's got 50 less hits. Mm-hmm. He has 12 less home runs. He has 35 less RBIs and 30 less runs scored with a 303 on batting average, 442 on base percentage. Now, during that time frame, 2017 on, he is also MVP 4, MVP 2, MVP 1, MVP 5. And in 2021, just an all-star because he only played in 36 games. Now, Judge,
okay. But you know what's misleading about some of that too is that Judge has done that in lineups with way less firepower, where he was like the only
Trout,
guy. Trout, Trout, with way less. I mean, no protection at all.
But that's where
getting Ohtani.
But you know that this is where the agent's coming from. If you look at it, the time frame,
comp,
from that time frame.
Oh, I get it.
Now, Aaron Judge was 25 to 29 during that time, and so was Trout. It was 25 to 29.
Right.
Same exact age, and that's where they're at.
But I think then a lot of this comes to the eyeball test too. Is would you even put Aaron Judge in the same breath as Mike Trout?
No,
I wouldn't.
I mean, Can you imagine Mike Trout in our lineup though?
Oh my God. Well, then I would say they're a World Series team because that's the best player in baseball.
As long as he stays healthy. Yeah.
When healthy.
He gets hurt all the time.
I know it's a little bit of a caveat, but let's be honest. He's the best player in the game when healthy.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on to, because I don't want to beat this to death because as of right now, we're both extremely unhappy with him declining the contract because that's if he wants to bet on himself, great. Hopefully it works out for you, but I'd be surprised. And even if it works out for you, I'm still going to be surprised if somebody signs you for 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah, that's nuts.
You're going to 40.
The deal they offered him to me was extremely.
Who's the best 40-year-old player in baseball right now? Who's the best
40-year-old?
38-year-old.
I don't know. How old is Mad Max?
I'm talking about I'm talking everyday player. Yeah.
Oh God, there's not many of them. This isn't
as soon as the steroid era stopped. Like you could make an argument for Cano, but he's been on and off juicing for the second half of his career.
Yeah, come on. Does anybody trust that guy's clean? I still wouldn't trust that he's clean, and I think
39.
baseball has like one of the most rigorous testing processes you have.
Yeah. So,
and I still would. I mean,
Nelson Cruz did, but that was different. He DH'd all the time.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, he's it right.
And he's another guy that is he clean?
Do you trust? I don't know. These guys, man, they're always ahead of the curve too. So that's the thing. Like they're always ahead of the testing curve
for the most part.
I wouldn't want to make any assumptions.
They're ahead of it until they're not.
Until they're behind it, but then they find something new, because you've got these, scumbag, low life, slime ball dealers out there who, anyways.
Yeah. All right. So
little NFL.
Real brief NFL news and notes. Stephon Diggs signed a contract extension with the Bills, 4 years. He's going to be a Bill for basically the rest of his career.
I want to point out that he should send thank you cards to Devontae Adams and Tyreek Hill, and also to Twitter, because he tweeted his way into that contract because he went because the Bills initially had no intention of giving him that extension. They were going to I think that was going to wait until the offseason.
Yeah.
And then he started putting out these kind of cryptic tweets, right? And next thing you know, boom, contract extension. For the record, totally great, smart move by the Bills. Absolutely, because
he's a number one. He's the number one guy.
Well, not only is he a number one, but he changed their trajectory of Josh Allen's career.
Yeah.
Because Josh Allen hit in year 3. Stephon Diggs came on in year 3 of Josh Allen's career.
Yeah.
It's not a coincidence, folks.
He is a top 7 receiver in the game.
He 100% deserves that contract. 100%. Yeah. The other news is, unfortunately, the very sad, tragic passing of Dwayne Haskins, 24-year-old, former Pittsburgh Steeler, Washington
a garbage
Redskin,
truck or something, right?
Yeah. Yes.
How does that happen?
He was hit on the highway, I think. I have to read the story again, but it just very tragic passing. And unfortunately, it was marred by really stupid tweets by Adam Schefter, and then a really insensitive, dumb fucking radio appearance by Gil Brandt, who that old man needs to be fucking taken out to pasture and put down. Just enough. And retire. You should retire in shame after what he said. I'm not going to recite it. Just go. If you want to listen to it, go listen to it. And you can find it easily. Just tweet, just search Gil Brandt on Twitter and you'll find the audio clip of it. It's embarrassing. Schefter's was bad, more just stupid and kind of, because basically his first tweet about the passing, he mentions his struggles. And it was like, okay, this isn't really the time to mention the guy's past or his struggles. Just can't we just be sort of,
Sensitive to the
sensitive
moment.
and appropriate with these kind of tweets? Like your first tweet, and he knew it was bad because he deleted the tweet.
Yeah.
He didn't apologize, I don't think, on Twitter. He's apologized, I think, to certain individuals. The worst one, though, was the Gil Brandt stuff. Like, listen to what Gil Brandt said. It was like, it was just fucking stupid. I mean, just stupid. Sounded like old man yelling at cloud kind of crap, and actually old white man yelling at cloud kind of crap.
Even better.
So yeah, just whatever. But very tragic, very sad. 24 years old, and all the stories that you're seeing on Twitter is that he was just a wonderful person, like a really good human being, and that needs to be the part that's remembered, not any struggles that he had on the field of any kind. I'm sure the guy was trying his heart out. It just, for whatever reasons he did struggle, but he was also still only 24. There was still a lot of opportunity for him to get it right.
Yeah.
And now we'll never know. So rest in peace, young man.
Yeah.
Terrible tragedy.
All right. With that, we're going to move on to our OFN, which is the Wheel of Destiny. For
those who don't know, OFN.
Oh, actually, before you do that,
yes.
hit that subscribe button.
Smash it.
Subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Smash them all. Slap them.
You gonna say flip it and rub it down?
Yeah.
I know you are.
Yeah, you do.
Disgusting.
I'm so gross.
You're so gross.
So pervy. All right, so let's get into the OFN of Hugh Jackman. I almost said Grant.
Once Forever and Ever of Hugh Jackman movies. Hey, we could do an OFN of Hugh Grant.
We could.
Notting Hill would be all three of them.
I don't know. The Gentleman was really good.
That was good. He was so good in that. That is a really good underrated flick. And he was, but he was so great though. I want to see Hugh Grant doing more roles like that. I love it when guys like that are out of their comfort zone,
Yeah.
Like that's a good, because that's not how you think of Hugh Grant. No. Don't you sort of just think of him as like this whiny Englishman who kind of like, like, isn't that sort of right? Like, is that kind of like, I hate to say it, but that's like the typecast for him, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
But when he did that Gentleman role, I was like, oh my God, this is just tremendous. It was so out of scope for him. I loved it. And I know this movie takes some flack. I loved when Harrison Ford did What Lies Beneath. Because he's not used to being the bad guy, the villain. And a really bad villain too in that movie. Like,
Yep. Whoa. Got a little alarm going off. All right.
Adam Sandberg calling you? Was that Captain Holtz?
All right. OFN, Hugh Jackman. We're going to get into it. We got the Wheel of Destiny. Put that on.
You're going to laugh at this.
I don't know. This was tough for me in a way that there was just so many to choose from. But like, I was like, really, if it comes down to it, these are my favorite movies of his. So, and this one is one that I just did not enjoy. But there was a ton that I was like, oh man, I gotta just mention them real quick. Like the guilty pleasures and stuff like that. So let's get into the once. We'll start with the once. My once is going to be a movie that takes the comic book genre to another level. Deadpool kind of started it with the whole R-rated thing. Logan did it, but did it in more of a dramatic sense. And that is my once. It's going to be Logan, because I do not want to be watching that movie for every day forever, because it is a dark movie. It is a tough movie, but it is a brutal movie. And it's one of those that you get to see some serious acting chops in a comic book movie role, which is very good. And the whole thing with him and Professor X, and it's gut-wrenching at times.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
So that's my once, Logan.
My once is admittedly,
you disappeared. you there? All right, I'm gonna have to call him back. You just let's try this again. You there?
Yeah, well, that was weird. What happened?
You just dropped out.
I did.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Anyway,
so you're once, admittedly,
is admittedly a horrible movie. It's horrible. It's a really bad movie. I'll be the first to admit it's a really bad movie. I'm just seeing now how I dropped off on YouTube and the Skype logo's coming up. And look, I got it. I don't even. It's such a bad movie, but I love it. I love how bad it's. I don't know if I'd put it on my Mount Rushmore of guilty pleasures. I don't think so, because we did our Mount Rushmore of guilty pleasure. It was not on it. But I have to tell you, man, Van Helsing.
I knew you were going to say Van Helsing is good. It's good. It's a guilty pleasure of mine. I love that movie.
I've watched it so many times that I couldn't not put it on the once. Yeah. I couldn't not put it somewhere on the list. I couldn't have it be the forever one, because that would be doing no justice to an incredible actor.
Right.
But I saw her. I'm sorry. I love that movie. Yeah. And I am apologizing for it, because there will be guilty pleasures that I will not apologize for. This one I will, because it is a horrible movie.
It's fantastic. I don't know what you're talking about. Love it.
It's bad.
So good.
I mean, I remember my friend Marty Lang, you know, Marty.
Yeah.
Marty, I remember Marty at the time, he nailed it too. 'Cause he was like, I remember him saying, like, this was a movie that had so much potential and it just could not have fallen more flat on its face than it possibly did. It was just like, I mean, like, it just in every way. It's just it's a terrifyingly bad movie, but I'm sorry, it made my once. I had to, because I've watched it so many times. It's one of those ones that, first of all, they put on like network TV. It's on cable way too much, right?
Yeah. Like
way too much.
No, not enough.
And every time it's on, I watch it.
It's fantastic. I love them.
Right,
I love it.
Moving on.
All right. So now our forever.
Oh, no.
What?
Oh, okay. You went in and out of picture. Okay.
Right.
Let's go.
Forever,
I know we only got a few minutes. Let's go.
Forever for me is going to be a movie that I think is probably one of, if not the greatest comic book movies of all time. And that is X-Men Days of Future Past. I think that they did such a good job going in and out of like the future and all that stuff. And this is really kind of where like the whole multiverse really kind of started, because they opened it up by going in and out of the future and being able to see each other, like see themselves. Like that is almost, but it's not really multiverse so much, but it kind of is. So I really feel like that movie right there, and it was incredibly well done, and unfortunately followed up with a pretty bad Apocalypse, which I really had high hopes for.
I know,
but it was not very good. So that I would say that is my forever. I would love to watch that movie and over again. It's got the action, it's got the comedy, it's got the just the overall brutal comic book vibe, which is great.
Yes, I went with Logan.
It's a good movie.
Although you've got me second guessing it, because it is so it's tough. It's heart wrenching to watch. But I also believe it's his best movie ever.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just
he's got a lot of good ones. Prisoners,
like it's a really good acting performance.
Prisoners, The Prestige, like those are some good movies.
Yeah, The Prestige, I was trying, it was bouncing around the list. It would have been in the one.
Swordfish.
Swordfish.
That's another guilty measure of mine. I love that movie.
Yeah, it's guilty for a different reason though. But I'm guilty of something in that movie, but it's got nothing to do with him.
That opening scene in Swordfish.
Yeah.
Where they have that explosion, where they do the 360 version of like all the things happening. Yeah. That is incredible and was well ahead of its time. That was amazing. Yeah, I love that. Yeah. I like that movie. It's fun.
Yeah, it sure is.
Real Steel's another good one too. That's a good movie.
That one I was leaning towards my never on, because I wasn't into that.
Oh, I love that movie. And they're coming out with Real Steel too. They're planning it. Yeah.
Well, it made money, the first one. So yeah, why not?
I thought it was great. All right. So then the Never. I'll start off with the Never. And I'm going to do this because I just could not stand this movie. Well, it's not that I couldn't stand it. I just didn't appreciate what they were going for. And that is Pan.
Oh yeah.
I did not appreciate it. Didn't really care for Hugh Jackman in it.
Yeah.
The way that they decided to go with the modern music, which I thought could have been kind of cool. Just, I don't know. I think overall the movie fell flat. And I do not want to watch it.
So mine, kind of for the same reasons, different movie. This was a COVID movie, Reminiscence. It was one that went on. I think it might have gone like straight to HBO Max or something like that. I tried. I couldn't get into it. It was a little bit of sci-fi mixed kind of with like romance and some, I don't know. It didn't hit. It didnit hit for me. And I was really looking forward to it because it was like, oh, like, we were like really kind of like right in the middle of COVID when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was like pre-vaccine. So it was like people really kind of hunkered down at home,
Yeah.
and it was just like, okay, like we're getting movies, given to us now through all these streaming services so that, like we're not forcing anyone to go into a movie theater.
But spend some money on it.
And it just fell flat. It fell flat. Like I would never watch it again. I wouldn't even consider watching it again.
All right. So what are your OFNs out there? Let us know. Because I'd like to know.
By the way, Days of Future Past was my second for forever. So we were like in the same ballpark there.
Good.
Oh, it's so good.
So we still have Hugh Jackman up there. We'll make that.
Of course, it's going to land on that.
We'll make that the Mount Rushmore of best baseball player of our lifetime. That's what that is.
That's good. Yeah, good.
All right.
Sure.
So we're going to go back to the graphic. Woo!
It's landing. Totally.
Wheel of Destiny. Pick a director to recast and film a movie.
Oh, so we got to pick a movie. Oh, we got to pick the director. Sorry, it's the director. But we got to pick the director
to film and recast a movie.
A specific movie, right?
Yes. Of our choosing.
Right. So if we said we need like Guillermo del Toro to recast Ghostbusters or something.
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. Or like I want to see Christopher Nolan redo The Godfather.
Sure.
Something along that.
Right. Or if I want to see nobody redo Jaws. Ever. Yeah. Don't fucking do it. Don't do it, Hollywood.
All right. Thank you guys for watching, listening, however you took it in. We appreciate it. Leave any comments or anything like that, and we'll take a look at them. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Smash it. Slap it. Hit the thumbs up. Helps us out. That YouTube algorithm. Yeah. Notification bell. You want to notice whenever we go live. We'll see you guys again next Monday.
Yeah,
most likely.
We've reached the end of the show, and in the words of the great Tony Stark, part of the journey is the end. But we'll see you back next Monday.
Peace out.
Stay classy, Planet Globe.
Much love.
Timmy Tim with Steven.